Oh, hello.
Oh my
Oh, is this
goodness.
it?
Are we live?
Live?
We are live
Yes.
on YouTube tonight, y'all.
Oh my
Are we
goodness.
Memorex?
We could be. We are from that
Yeah.
era.
I did think about that, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, fantastic. We are doing a first live stream in a while. I know over the holidays, Bo and Kevin did a commercial watch along. And so we are thrilled to be here with you live on YouTube. This is something you're going to see a little bit more often. This is our live session. I'm Brock Parker. That's my wife, Jess.
hello.
And then there we go, Kevin Gardner and Bo Bearden.
Mm.
And look, there's
Oh,
our
there
howdy,
we go.
buddy Skylar.
Hello,
Skylar, how you
Skylar.
doing? We're live, pal. That's right.
Thanks, Skylar.
Yeah, man.
It's going to be great stuff, pal.
Hope you're doing well. If you're joining us live, we're recording episode 80, and we'd love to have you involved in it. So jump into the chat. We would absolutely love to hear from you as we go along tonight. Our Patreon and YouTube members, we just did about a half hour with them before we jumped on it. Not live, but we recorded an episode for them. So we're going to try to do more of these live streams for you guys when we record on Sunday nights, and maybe we'll start doing one or two a week. We don't know yet. We're planning that, but we figured tonight's a good night to get that started.
Sure.
Well,
So
in all
if-
honesty, we do it live anyway,
Yeah.
regardless. So it's we pretty much don't do editing as much as we used to need to. So this is just a perfect format for us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So if you have not been a part of our audience yet, we're the Bama Geeks. We're four friends from Alabama who just love to sit around and shoot the breeze about pop culture stuff and how a lot of it relates back to our state. That's kind of our niche, if you will. But tonight, we're going to talk about some fun things. As you're well aware from seeing the preview, we're going to be talking about MeTV is doing all of us old timers a world of good. With something coming in June, their cartoon channel. So that's going to be the main topic tonight. But we have some other things that we'll go in and out. But anything you guys want to talk about in the chat, just drop a comment, and we'll feature you. We appreciate you being here with us. And like we said, Skylar is here. We appreciate that, Skylar.
Yes.
If you are new and want to follow us on social media, there you go, at Bama Geeks everywhere. Just look for us. And of course, we've got the Bama Geeks Front Porch on Facebook. That's our private, fun Facebook group that we have with everybody. And if you want to join the channel, you can do that. There's a join button down below. And if not, if you want to do Patreon, patreon.com/Bama Geeks. If you don't want to do that, that's fine too. We're just happy you're here.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, golly, I guess to begin with, April and May are the months for Bama Geek birthdays. Kevin and Bo, just a few weeks ago, they celebrated their birthdays. Jess had one this past Friday.
I did.
So happy birthday to you, sweetheart.
Thank you. Thank you.
And also, it's Mother's Day.
It is.
So happy Mother's Day to you too.
Well, thank you. And happy Mother's Day to any of our female listeners and watchers that are moms. Happy Mother's Day to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Happy Mother's Day to your wife, Bo.
Yes. She celebrated it by working last night, sleeping today, and then me and the kiddo made her a few homemade things for Mother's Day, and then she went back to work tonight. So that's her Mother's Day.
Oh, well, you got plans for the future to celebrate with her? Or for another
Yeah,
day,
we're gonna try to do something with the my mom and mother-in-law. I think we're all gonna try to go out to dinner.
Nice.
Okay.
Like
Very cool.
like I said, we are our Mother's Day gift. Like I said, I got Oliver made her a hand painted thing. But our big thing for me is she's been wanting a flower bed in front of the house. So I've told her when she's available. I've already got all the supplies. I've got the mulch, the yard timbers, and everything. So once she's available to be there to supervise to make sure, because like I want to make sure I get it how she wants it. I'd rather be there with her than go ahead and be like, hey, I wish you would have done it this way. So save me twice
Right.
the work.
Exactly. Smart man.
Yep. So if you're celebrating a mom today, give us a thumbs up on the video. Let us know. Hit that like button. That's a thumbs up for mom today.
Do like Mr. T. Show love to your mama.
That's right.
That's right.
Love to
Absolutely. Oh, well, we are absolutely thrilled for this week at some point. One of the biggest surprises that I've seen in a while happened. There's a con in Birmingham. In fact, we did an episode a couple of years ago when they stopped doing the convention. Magic City Con is coming back next summer. It's going to be July 11th through the 13th in 2025. Jamie Phelps and Rita Houston, those ladies, ran Magic City Con for a long time, and they ducked out for a couple of years. They're coming back next July.
Yeah. Very happy to hear that news this week. It was
Yeah.
So we
definitely
got the
unexpected for sure.
Are they going to still have it at the Winfrey, or are they said yet?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good
they've
deal.
already nailed that down. Everything's they're going to pick up right where they left off.
Nice.
Wow.
So around Birmingham, if you need a really good convention, I know we've got Iron City Comic Con coming up in 3 weeks.
2 weeks, 2 3
Yeah.
weeks. Yeah.
3 weeks.
First weekend in June.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then we've got that. We've got Alabama Comic Con at the end of September. And we love these guys. We haven't done Iron City yet. This is their first year, but Alabama Comic Con we absolutely love.
Yeah.
Of course, we do it with the Alabama Ghostbusters. But Magic City Con, we had been as a group with them since their beginning,
Yep.
Right.
Goes.
and very sad that they went away. But boy, howdy, we are excited they're back. So
Yeah, my niece actually has a lifetime pass
Oh, so,
for Magic City Con that
Yeah.
she got it, and then the first thing I did was I messaged her mom and I was like, "Do you think that they'll honor it?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, they will."
Yeah,
oh
they
yeah,
were-
no, they
because
yeah.
the thing is that she comes in and she does she's kind of a little more famous around there for being like the ballerina Darth Vader, and she does she also comes in and she gives away like a big tub of Star Wars memorabilia, and people donate that from everywhere. So I think that starting next year she's going to be doing 2 of those. She's going to do one
wow.
at
Oh,
the
nice.
Huntsville the Huntsville convention, and she's going to do one at Magic City Con. So that's going to be
Yeah.
it's going to be pretty wild to be able to spread the love, and kids love that. I mean, could you imagine being a kid and going to a convention? Because the thing was like, I'll never forget the first time she went to Magic City Con. They had one of those. There was a vendor there that had the big feature, and they were and you could go and you could what was it? It was either Magic City Con or Pensacon. I think it was Pensacon actually. When she went to Pensacon, and they had this big vendor there that you could buy the boxes. You could buy like the grab boxes.
Yeah.
You would pay like $25, and it would be like a whole bunch of stuff in it.
Yeah.
And every one of them had like a ticket in it. It was a chance to win this Kylo Ren lightsaber up there at the top, which was
Ooh, nice.
a big deal, like a Black Series. It was like
Yeah.
really like
Oh, yeah.
awesome. And so she goes up there, and the guy, it was like toward the end of the day, she goes up there, and the guy goes, "Get that box. Get that box." It was a beat up one that was up at the top.
Yeah.
Get that box up there. So she got it, and it had the thing in it because they wanted to give it away, and she seemed to be really cool. And just to
Oh,
see how it lit her face up, that's what started this. That's what started her doing
Nice.
that. So now she gets to see that on the faces of kids. And
Yeah,
it was
she's paying it forward,
Sorry, I didn't mean to
yeah.
hijack that. It just the things like that are why we like, Magic City Con and other like local conventions. You can get the bigger corporate-ish kind of ones come through every once in a while, but the ones that are like ran by locals,
Yeah.
that is
Homegrown.
successful, those are the ones that I really like.
yeah, and Jamie and Rita are fantastic. They've always done such a good job with that. But yeah, we saw your niece up in Huntsville this past April.
Yeah.
And of course, she had her ballerina outfit on. It was the hit.
Well,
So many kids. ran
Kylo
up
Rita,
there.
yep.
Yeah.
She did the Mrs. Darkside too, the pageant
Yeah.
one, and these 2 little girls were just
Yep.
they thought that she was the funniest. It was like the funniest thing to them to see
Yeah.
like Darth Vader, with a ball gown on and things like that. These 2 little girls were just amazed by her. You could tell by looks on their face.
Yeah. That's so awesome. She does such a good job.
Hmm.
Thrilled she's gonna duplicate that once again at Magic City Con.
It makes me so happy that my little acolyte has now surpassed me in the force. So
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Oh man, I cannot wait to see who they get for guests. It's usually a BioWare heavy convention.
Yep.
Lots of Mass Effect, lots of Dragon Age, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, and all that stuff. So yeah, I can't wait to see what they.
I honestly don't care if they only got a handful of guests. I'd still be perfectly
yeah.
fine with it. Honestly, I think it's just going to be good to
Absolutely.
be able to get together with the Magic City Con folks again, just in general, because that's such a good con.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and I've already offered our services as the Alabama Ghostbusters and the Bama Geeks.
Nice.
So whatever way they need, I said we're here for you. We love you guys so much. So, but we're thrilled about that. And speaking of Star Wars, Kevin, you absolutely love Star Wars, probably more than any of us. And something happened, golly, around May the 4th, right? What happened?
Yeah. So this year, this year's the 25th anniversary of Star Wars Episode 1. It's been out for a quarter of a century. That just still blows my mind, because I remember, I'm gonna age myself here a little bit, which we tend to do often, but that movie came out the year I graduated high school.
Yep.
That was, and I remember that, I don't know if it's still the same way now with high school kids, but you have that gap between when you finish school and you finish your semester, your last semester, and you do your semester exams or your final exams, and then you graduate, and there's a gap there where you're really not doing anything. You're done, right? And that gap was where Star Wars landed. So the cool thing is, though, what Brock was alluding to was that they re-released the movie. Of course, Disney's not going to, and even before Disney, George Lucas wouldn't, would jump at the chance to re-release the movies when he could. And of course, this is the same copy of the movie, but it came out and made number 2
Yep.
in domestic gross there, which Jess pointed out that there's really not a lot out right now for it to compete with.
Yeah.
But
It hurt the Fall Guy. That was like a lot of people. They had big projections, and they cut into a lot of the Fall Guy's profits.
yeah,
Wow. And that's one that we intend to go see at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the
it's my
thing
birthday
is-
month. I've got a free popcorn and Coke waiting for me
Yes.
at AMC, so we got to do something.
There you go.
well, I mean, the thing is,
Don't let that go.
back when Episode 1 came out, Episode 1 was the movie. Was like one of the first movies to ever come out that there was literally no way that movie could live up to the hype that it had. It could have been the perfect movie, and it still would have been trashed. Because you guys remember the amount of hype for that movie was absolutely bonkers. I have never seen anything even come close to that since then. And now the movie has, you see people, not even in our age group, but younger folks pick up on the movie and they're like, it's really not that bad. I don't know why you guys are hating on it. It's like, you just had to be around. That was the thing, was to hate on the movie, But now we can go and watch this movie now, and it's like, you know what? Jar Jar was really annoying, but he kind of had a purpose. And Ahmed Best, the guy who played Jar Jar, is an amazing dude.
Yeah.
And then you see, and you see Jake Lloyd, and now we see what's going on with Jake Lloyd, and that he's diagnosed schizophrenic, and he's getting help, and he's getting better. But the fact that poor kid went back to school and was bullied incessantly because of the amount of hate that movie got, and it shaped his life. Stuff like that, just time either makes things worse or it heals all wounds when it comes to stuff, and Episode 1 is, I still don't feel like it's the best Star Wars movie, but it's actually moved in my ranking a little bit since it came out, for sure.
Yeah, and I really think that's why it did so well at the theater. And by the way, if you're watching live with us and in the chat, please let us know. Did you go see Episode 1? Did you go see it get re-released? Did you, or what are your thoughts? Have your thoughts now changed on it since it first came out? I know mine have, and I know that that's probably why it did so well at the box office when it re-released.
Also, probably a lot of the folks who were there was a lot of people that younger than us. That was their introduction to Star Wars.
Yeah.
So therefore, now they're getting to be adult age. So that's that's their nostalgia too.
It is.
I made sure that when the aforementioned niece, when we sat down and we finally got to the age where her mother agreed it was appropriate that she could watch Star Wars with her uncle. We sat down and she watched. We watched episodes. We watched them in order. We watched them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Chronologically.
Yeah, because I wanted to see.
Yeah.
There's a lot of debate online, and obviously, chat if you feel strongly, let us know. But just let us know if the way you feel about that. But not my favorite, but Jedi versus Darth Maul fight.
Oh yes,
no joke, man.
Yeah.
That was
Duel
like
the
one of the
Fates.
best things ever. As soon as you hear them firing up corn on the cob, man, you know it's going to get nuts.
It's funny you mention it. Like so, you're talking about. Like I've got up here my wall of old movie ticket stubs. I have my episode 1 stub still up there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow! It's I was wondering what you were looking at earlier.
I keep looking. I know it's up there. Like I might pull it down so we can. Let me get it off. Pull it down. I'll have to restaple it later. But let me get it.
It's in my guest room. I have it hanging up with a framed copy of the USA Today with the day it came out, and I have like 12 movie stubs
It's a bit
where I went and
faded.
saw it. Yep.
Aren't we all?
Like
Let me see.
what theater was that, Bo?
That
What's
is the
it-
Fox 12. I believe that is the McFarlane Mall. Come on.
Wow.
I'll get a better
Yeah,
picture
that
for you
was-
if you want to reshare it or something. But
I'm sure mine was Cobb Theater.
Mine was in. Let's see what that was. 99.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
This is
So-
May 26, 1999.
Okay. I'm trying to remember what May 20. I don't remember where I was. I was either in Atlanta or I was over in Columbus, Georgia. I can't remember which one. But I noticed all the special editions that they re-released in '96. I was in Killeen, Texas, in the Air Force, the station out at Fort Hood, and I got to see Episode 4 special edition, and then I had to go overseas to Saudi Arabia for a few months, so I didn't get to see the other two.
Wasn't it about 10 or 12 years ago when they released that they were doing the 3D and wasn't Phantom Menace the only one that got released? They were supposed to re-release them all in 3D. You remember that? Because I remember we all went and saw
started
it.
doing that. Yeah.
And then I think that's when the Disney purchase happened, and then that got scrapped.
Yeah.
Really?
I had actually forgotten about that. That was
Yeah, well,
that
the
was
3D
wild.
effects were. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Kevin, jumping back on what you were talking about, the controversy whether or not to start it with Episode 4 and let the surprise happen of Darth and Luke, and I wound up doing the same thing with my kids, going Episode 1, 2, 3, 4, and so that surprise, I felt bad about that afterwards because I was wanting my kids to experience the surprise that's Luke's dad, and well, you can't do it if you do it chronologically.
Right.
Well, I will tell you, my niece was still she was still young enough to where she, I didn't tell her anything about it other than the things that I really liked it, and she just liked it. I liked it. She just, she was my niece, right? And so, we watched it in chronological order, and then when it got to the, to the part where we find out the relationship, she honestly didn't click. It didn't click with her that. Oh, and so it did hit hard. That it was like,
good.
whoa, and I was like, remember when we watched that last movie that that she had the 2 kids and then she named one Luke and then one Leia, and she goes, oh, that's it. So they did get a reaction, but it was a different one than we got. That's what she.
Yeah.
So we got the oh my god, and you about fall out of your theater seat, and you're like, oh my god, I can't believe this. Whereas with them, it was like, oh, it's like the 2 major story plot lines that connected, and it was like, oh my goodness, this is great. So now, does that also mean Leia? And so that did get a little spoiled there because we obviously didn't know Leia was his sister at the time, but at that point, then once you connected that storyline that they had seen with that one, it was like, so when does Leia come? Oh, that's the Leia. Oh my gosh! And it was just, I'm sitting there going, I'm getting goosebumps just like listening to you go nuts over this. This is cool. That was really fun. But yeah, man, Episode 1 back in the theaters, stealing some thunder away from some brand new movies, and still rocking it, man. And I feel a lot differently about that movie than I did. Unlike and that is very much unlike Rise of Skywalker. Every time I watch that movie, it gets worse. Every time. I've stopped watching it because I get angrier every time I watch it. But maybe that will age.
Don't
I
worry,
was
the
gonna say
kid.
maybe see where you're at in a couple of years. Go back and watch it. Maybe it might change for you. You never know.
I think it's probably going to have to be like when I watch the holiday special, because I watch the holiday special generally like every 1 to 2 years. Used to be every year, but I only do it like every 1 to 2 years now. But I always do it intoxicated. Because it makes it so much better. So maybe that's what I need to do with Rise of Skywalker is just do it intoxicated. Maybe that's what I need to do. Yeah.
To each his own.
Weren't the actors pretty well zoned out for the most part too?
Well, I mean, the thing was like holiday special. Are we talking about Rise of Skywalker holiday special? Which one?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, they all were. Holiday special had like a huge arsenal of like really good actors in there, and they were just like, they were just there doing their own thing. With the only thing that tied them into Star Wars was they had remotely similar Star Wars costumes on, and that's about it. And they were just doing their own thing. So anyway,
Jess, what was that Stevie Nicks video that we watched yesterday?
We had just a Pluto. They do all of the 80s music videos, so we just had that on in the background, and it was Stevie Nicks. It was Stand Back.
Stand Back, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was sitting on the couch, and I'm like, "Why does she look so angry in this?" And Jess was like, "Oh, she's stoned out of her mind.
She was coked out of her mind, man. She was Stevie Nicks and Carrie Fisher. If you know anything about their personal lives,
I know where that reference came from because that's one of my favorite shots of all time. Is Carrie Fisher. It's like they checked her out of Betty Ford.
Yeah.
And just drug her up on stage for the holiday special, and she was so zonked out. It was hilarious.
I mean, bless her heart. My goodness. She was if you know her history, that's not a big surprise though.
No,
yeah.
not at all. Not at all. It was but I mean, honestly, if you're watching it, you haven't seen the holiday special, you can go find it on YouTube. It's not like it's hard to find. It's out there.
Yeah.
It's very easy to find. There are very good quality copies of it that have been remastered. I don't know who in their right mind took the time to go frame for frame to make sure that this was a good copy. But there's a really good copy out there that you can watch that I watch generally every 1 to 2 years. I make myself watch it, and usually I make a good night of it.
Yeah, and if you're in the chat, let us know. Have you watched the holiday special? The only time I've ever watched it was over at your house.
Yep, that's the only time I've watched it.
That was enough for me. The one time was enough.
We're gonna have to get together at some point and just watch it and just like do some videos. And
didn't Riff Tracks do a riff of it?
I think they've done a couple. Actually, it's very easy to do.
Hey, maybe that's something a bonus hangout we can do with our Patreon and YouTube members. We can maybe do our own little riff on it.
Yep.
So, do we want to maybe think about that for Life Day for November 17th?
Ooh.
Or Riff Lamageddon.
Yeah, were we at Disney this past year for Life Day?
We were.
Yeah, and we missed it.
Chewbacca. That was Chewbacca was gonna take me off.
Yeah.
Arm in arm with Chewbacca walking through the park right there. Happy Life Day.
Oh me. So is before we move on to the next topic, is that still in the theater? Was it a one weekend and done?
I think it was like a one and done thing. Yeah.
I kind of hate that because I would have liked to just go and seen it.
Yeah.
Disney. I mean, when George Lucas was over it, and it was Lucasfilm, and it was owned by Disney, and it was still Fox. They would when they would release them, they would release them for a couple of weeks. But Disney seems to be a little more like you need to go. They almost treat it like one of those Fathom events where it's like you go to the theater and it's like if you're not there at that time, then it's broadcasted now and you're not going to see it ever again.
It's the modern version of the Disney Vault. That's what it is.
Oh,
there you go.
And I'm happy to report that Life Day, November 17th, is on a Sunday this year.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if it falls in line
we'll
with our normal schedule. We'll have to check into
We'll
that.
we'll look at this.
we'll look into
I
it.
have to make some adjustments.
Oh man, we'll have to live stream that sucker.
Yes.
And do some. I don't know how well that'll work out. We'll have to find out with the copywriting and everything. But
maybe we can do it into the Discord. There is a Bama Geeks Discord. If you join our Patreon, patreon.com/Bama Geeks, or become a YouTube channel member, I think at the we've got a 99-cent tier and then a $4.99 tier, and I can't remember. I think both of them may have access to Discord, or it may just be the $4.99.
Let's be honest, though, Brock. It would be hilarious to get a copyright strike on the holiday special.
No.
Yeah, he doesn't want to anger the mouse because he likes the mouse.
Well, I don't want to anger YouTube.
Oh, that's true.
That's very true.
We're just getting started with this aspect of it. We don't want to, make it.
We will have to adjust or do something in the Discord, a live watch along in the Discord, because the 17th we are not recording.
There's a reasonable chance that I may have everything backyard related ready by then, so that if it worked out Sunday, maybe we could have like everybody together and watch the thing. Yeah, and then just kind of like do our commentary while we're doing it or something. I don't know. Maybe we can we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll.
As usual, guys, we're planning future things while we're doing the actual podcast. So
yeah.
Planning in real time.
Yes, that's how we do, man. That's how we do it.
A Rolling Stone gathers no moss. Hey,
there you go. What about the Rolling Stones?
I love the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, we if you listen to the last episode, we know this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, something else is back. Kevin's the only one that has seen it. Doctor Who. 2 episodes now, right?
Yeah. So this one's featuring, this one's back now. It's on BBC as usual, right? But it's also, the weird thing about this one is now that Russell T Davies is back in charge. He came back out of retirement, and he's in charge of the franchise now. He has like exclusive rights. Like it's very strange the way they've structured it now, because Doctor Who used to be like an arm of BBC, but now it's its own thing altogether, so they could, like, if things change in the future, they could shop for other places. And they've kind of done that. So now it used to be exclusive to BBC and then everybody else would get it, but now it's being simulcasted with Disney Plus. So you can there's no exclusivity for people in England for it to get it first, because they used to be the thing. It's simulcast. So
wow, I didn't know that. I thought that it was going to be exclusive to Disney Plus.
That's the exclusive streaming partner.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're the exclusive streaming partner. It's still it's BBC and Disney Plus is the thing. So you can still see it through BBC with with just viewing it on TV or whatever. Like if you're in England or you got BBC or whatever, you could still see it, but it's still available at the same time on Disney Plus.
Okay.
So this one, we went through, depending on what your opinion of the Chris Chibnall era was with Jodie Whittaker, I thought it was pretty good. It definitely was a little bit rocky. But these 2 episodes, you can definitely tell things are back to normal. When I say back to normal, I'm talking about like what we left before Chris Chibnall, when Russell T Davies retired and Chris Chibnall took over. It does feel back to normal. We got a new doctor, Ncuti Gatwa, who is the new doctor. Super incredibly awesome personality on this guy. The energy, he's a stage actor. The guy, he's killing it, like, so far. I mean, we already saw like the Christmas special and all the stuff. We saw the intro. My gosh, it just continues. And then of course Millie Gibson, who plays Ruby Sunday. They are very much teasing the whole thing that they were teasing in the Christmas episode about like where she was born at the church and all the stuff and people that are there, and it's a very Russell T Davies. Yeah, like we're gonna drip these clues there, and then when I get to the episode where we reveal it, it's gonna smack you in the face because you should have known. Yeah. Kind of thing. So the first 2 episodes were Russell T Davies. Russell T Davies does, I think, 8 of the 10 or 12 episodes in this. He does the majority of them. However, the next one's Stephen Moffat.
Ah,
Okay.
And we know Moffat. Moffat is the scary guy. He does the scary stuff. So the next episode's probably going to be something scary.
Yeah.
All right.
So the first episode was very good. The second episode was featured a new villain called the Maestro, and the Maestro is one of the toy maker's proteges. Like
okay.
one of, because the toy maker mentioned that his Legion was coming when he was that's just like part of it. So we're gonna that's probably where it's gonna be focusing around is the toy maker. But they've been doing, and this is not really a huge spoiler for people who know Doctor Who, but they've also been mentioning that he mentioned several times in there that he's the only one of his kind. He's the only one left, the only one of his kind. And anybody that's watched Doctor Who knows that's not true.
Yeah.
He's not the only one left. He's got his alter ego, the Master, who is also a Time Lord, just an evil version of a Time Lord. So
Yeah.
I'm sure at some point we'll find that character will come back in at some point. We don't know, and hopefully it's the typical. Hopefully it's the typical who all of a sudden, bam, we got an episode and we've got the Master that pops in. So,
And while we're discussing this, we've got a question for you. Who's your favorite Doctor? Drop us a note in the chat. Let us know.
Matt Smith.
Tenet. Sorry.
Ooh, I have favorite ones like for modern. I have to say Tenet and 12 Capaldi.
Capaldi was so good.
And then for classic era, Troughton and of course Tom Baker.
We know Capaldi. The thing was his season 8 was the first season he came in, and it was rocky. That was a very rocky start for him. Go ahead.
Oh, so his last season cemented him like right there with Tenet for me. Just his last season is incredible.
Well, the thing is he had already been in Doctor Who before that, So and he grew up like a lot of people that have been involved with Doctor Who. He grew up watching Doctor Who because Doctor Who's been around since the '60s, right? So he grew up watching Doctor Who. So it was his dream to become a doctor. But once season 8 was rough, but then when they hit season 9, and the first time you see him, he's standing on top of an M1 Abrams tank, and he's got his sunglasses on, and he's playing the guitar, and I'm like, finally, someone figured out how to do Capaldi. Let him be a musician. Let him be cool. And from then on out, it was gravy. Everything after that was amazing.
Yep.
I love Tenet. Golly, how many doctors have we met?
We've met. Well, I've only met David Tennant and Matt Smith.
Okay, Tennant and Smith, and then Bo, you and I got to hang out with Sylvester McCoy, Peter Davidson.
I want to meet
Smith.
Eccleston.
Yeah.
Because I have a special place in my heart for him. He's the one who was the first Doctor when we rebooted, and he set the tone for everybody else.
Absolutely. Sylvester McCoy, if you ever get the chance to see him in person and just go to a panel, never mind just meeting him, but go to one of his panels. That man is a delight. He is so stinking funny. But and I've only ever cosplayed Doctor Who once, and it was the 7th Doctor. And I went up and got my picture made with him, and he quickly grabbed his umbrella and put his hat and everything on. He goes, "Oh, look, you're me!" And I said, yes, yeah. I need to find my umbrella. It's somewhere.
You guys are gonna. I will say this season, you guys are gonna love the first 2 episodes. One of the big things that's missing is a lot of the agendaing that they were doing with the last season. That was a big. Well, it was a big drag. And granted, I'm not saying that some level of pushing for social boundaries is okay. I think that's okay. But when you badger people to death with it, in episodes, that's when it gets a little old. So obviously, if you disagree, let us know. But in the grand scheme of things, Davies doesn't seem to have any appetite for doing that in his writing at all. There's only one moment in the second episode where there's a little bit of a clarification that happens that you might kind of eye roll, but overall it's actually very appropriate to have it in place. and you guys will know what I'm talking about when you see the second episode. But other than that, I mean, it's just top notch so far. I cannot wait. Obviously, I'm a huge Steve Moffat fan. I love all of his episodes. I love the Weeping Angels are like my favorite villains of just
Don't
about
blink.
anything. Yes.
Yeah.
And just the fact of knowing that Steve Moffat has a weeping angel out front of his house in real life just blows my mind. I mean, it's so appropriate. But I can't wait for the third episode. And we've already once you watch the second episode, you see a preview of the third episode, and just what they're showing just looks really interesting. I mean, the first episode is titled "Space Babies," by the way.
Okay.
Oh Lord,
Yes.
with Doctor Who, that could go anywhere.
Oh, you're gonna love it. It's absolutely it's a beautiful story.
Is
it really
is there any Neil Gaiman stories this season? Have they said anything? Because I always enjoy when he pops up and does an episode.
I don't think so. I was looking at that. I didn't see his name. I don't think that they have anything.
Okay.
I think Moffat only does one episode this season.
Okay.
I mean, Moffat's pretty much retired at this point. He just comes back because Davies is like, I need you to come back and do an episode. He's like, Doctor
Yeah.
Who? Okay, cool. I'll do it.
Yeah.
I don't think you would have ever done it for Chibnall if he'd asked, but Davies is like, they got a special bond.
Well,
So
yeah.
they kind of started, Davies was the one that started it back up, but he kind of drug Moffat around with it. And then there was a while there in some of the earlier seasons where it was like Davies, Moffat, Davies. It was just pretty much just them writing for a little bit there. So, but yeah, now Doctor Who's back. Ncuti Gatwa, my gosh, he's probably
don't
one of the
keep on
most boisterous and he reminds me, Tennant had a little bit of a kind of a smidge of darker tone to him a little bit, which is why a lot of people like him. This guy's bright. He's like Jodie Whittaker had they actually given her good stories and had actually given her good writing and a good supporting cast. Then this is probably what we would have gotten out of her. But he is just his energy level is infectious. I was watching it and I was like literally on the edge of my couch watching it because it was just that entertaining to watch him. So yeah, it's really good, and I'm looking forward to where the story goes, especially the Ruby Sunday story. That's going to be something cool.
How many episodes are scheduled for this season?
Oh, why did you ask me that? I don't know.
I
It's,
don't
I can look it up if you want to fill some time.
So, talking about, we never really got into the Jodie Whittaker and her doctor, but it's kind of like, some of the same issues that surrounded her run are surrounding like Star Trek Discovery, some of the same issues. And so 8 episodes. Okay. And we love Discovery. That's a fantastic show. It doesn't hurt that Sonequa Martin Green is graduated
Yep.
from the University of Alabama.
She's Alabama girl.
Yep, she and I were in college at Bama at the same time. And we got to talk about that a couple of years ago, which was really neat. Yeah, she's an Alabama girl. But
I want to clarify, Russell T Davies has written every episode this season but 2. And it's the one that Moffat does, which is next. And then episode 6 was called Rogue. That's written by Kate Herron and Brioni Redmond.
not
They
familiar with
did
them.
episode. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with them. But they wrote this. I mean, it's got different directors, but the writing is the writing's where it's at with this kind of stuff. So, but yeah, it's definitely if you have Disney Plus or you've got BBC, watch it. It's Doctor Who, guys. I mean, it's incredible. Let's just it's peak sci-fi, and, peak kooky sci-fi. So.
Well, that show's been around a long time, and many generations have enjoyed it, just like many generations have enjoyed some classic cartoons.
Right.
Ooh, nice segue.
Here we go.
So I'm going to pull this article up and kind of give a little bit of a read on it. If you haven't heard, I'm going to try to share my screen here. Where is my Chrome tab? No, we don't need to share the tab audio because there's not going to be any playing, hopefully.
With us broadcasting on YouTube, I hope there's not. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So, MeTV, if you're not familiar with MeTV, I think they're it's only over-the-air antenna, isn't it? I don't think I've
I
ever seen it on cable.
believe so.
Yes, it is. Also, if you are if you use Philo, they are on Philo as
Oh,
well.
are they?
Mhm.
Okay. Philo
So
is a streaming service that we utilize.
yeah.
But the article written by Amidi, I hope I said his name right, from
Mhm.
cartoonbrew.com. MeTV announces Toon's network, a free channel dedicated to classic animation. This was really exciting. They said, what is quite possibly the most exciting news in years for fans of classic American animation. Chicago-based Weigel Broadcasting Company, and I hope I'm saying that correctly. They've announced the launch of a free 24/7 animation network dedicated exclusively to classic animation, from theatrical animation shorts to TV series. I know a lot of people have Cartoon Network and have enjoyed Cartoon Network over the
Mhm.
years. Uh, Cartoon Network's in the habit of creating new shows.
Yeah.
We've got a friend, Steve Vitale, who has worked a lot with Cartoon Network and animated quite a few things. And we know people who work strictly in animation. They're always creating new shows, and this is going to bring back stuff that we grew up on.
Yep.
Well, Cartoon Network did have Boomerang, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
but you have to pay for that service.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
yeah. So
Yeah, this is going to be free over the air. If you've got an antenna, hook that bad boy up and bring up MeTV. This is going to launch June. Looking, I think June 25th. MeTV Tunes. It's being launched in collaboration with Warner Brothers Discovery. Will feature a lot of WBD's classic characters: Bugs
Yep.
Bunny, Daffy Duck, Scooby-Doo, Tom and Jerry, Josie and the Pussycats, the Jetsons, Top Cat, Popeye, you name it, Yogi Bear, the Flintstones.
yeah,
Yeah, a whole bunch of
Hanna-Barbera. Yeah, exactly.
And even I saw stuff even as new quote news is like 80 and 90 stuff. I want to say like the Beetlejuice
Yes.
cartoon for the 90s. I think that was one of them mentioned. And of course, I think I've seen it. We've all seen it on our Ghostbusters channels. I think the Real Ghostbusters is going to be
Real
on it, correct?
Ghostbusters? Yep.
absolutely, and we'll get to that in just a second. But yeah, Rocky and Bullwinkle, Woody Woodpecker, Casper, Inspector Gadget. Give me that all day. That was a cartoon that I didn't get to see a whole lot of as a kid because the stations in my area didn't play it a lot. But I would go visit my cousins in the edge of Florida, and their stations down there would play Inspector Gadget, and that turned out to be one of my
Inspector
absolute-
Gadget was so good, man. It was
so good. And in the chat, we'd love to know from you. What was your favorite Saturday morning cartoon? What are you excited about? If you look at this rundown, and again, it's on cartoonbrew.com. We'd love to know what your favorite Saturday morning cartoon was.
I did also want to mention, Brock, if you don't mind. I was curious because you mentioned that it's over the air. I was curious how you actually get access to this to watch, because it's not it doesn't appear to be like a standalone station, right? It's going to piggyback off of an existing station, so you can actually go to metv.com/where to watch, and you can put in your information, like your zip code, and it'll give you back what station broadcasts. Like, for example, the majority of us here are in the Birmingham area, so we would be looking at WVTM 13, which is our channel 13 here.
Yep.
They're the ones who their 13.2 channel is what broadcasts this. So
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the additional channel tied to MeTV.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you would need to know that, obviously, if you have over the air. I mean, and the cool story for me is that I'm in the process of putting an over the air antenna up at my house. So I will definitely be tuning into this for sure. I could totally see putting this on, just letting it just go and just run.
Yeah.
I think something worth mentioning also in that same article there from Cartoon Brew, when they were discussing, when they were explaining the reason for launching this new network, they said it largely has to do with the popularity of the Saturday morning animation block that's already in the existing MeTV channel. They said in the fourth quarter of 2023, that it was reported that MeTV's cartoon block outperformed Seinfeld and The Office on Comedy Central, Law and
Wow.
Order on USA, Friends on Nick at Night in the 25 to 50-year-old demo. So
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, all of us that grew up on these Saturday morning cartoons, we want to see them again.
Yep.
And you know, a lot of the reason that, you know, those cartoons, there were so darn many of them when we and the concept of Saturday morning cartoons was a thing, was, you know,
That's
there
how
was a
you-
push for those then, you know.
yeah, I mean, you think back to being a kid. What that was just Saturday morning. You got up, you went in the
Oh,
kitchen,
man.
you got your bowl of cereal, your Pop-Tart, whatever, and you sat there
And
and watched that on Saturday morning. And then when it was over with, you left, you went out and played or
Yeah,
whatever. But
But the question is, though, Jess, what was the indicator for you guys that it was over with? For me, it was Murder, She Wrote. Murder, She Wrote would come on. And I don't even know why it was that. It was like, I remember, like, it would be like Murder, She Wrote, or it would be something like, you know, very non-kid. But I remember, obviously that changed up. But I remember very vividly, like, why would they do Murder, She Wrote?
I want to
I don't know,
say.
'cause-
Oh.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Buck.
I would say for me, I want to say it was usually a fishing show. I can't remember if it was
Yes.
Archie. I think it was Archie Phillips
Bassmasters.
Outdoors or Bill Dance, one of the two.
Bill Dance.
Yes, that was.
And I'm going to alienate somebody here. That ugly Tennessee Volunteers hat he wore. Yeah. Sorry. roll
You know
tide.
what? It's fine. We all know that color's ugly.
I seem to remember, like, you know, they would switch over to like the animal shows or the
Yeah.
like Jack Hanna's Wild
Yep.
Animals or something.
Mutual
So-
of Omaha's Wild Kingdom
yeah, there you go.
with Marlon Perkins. Absolutely. Yeah. When Marlon, I got excited when Wild Kingdom came on. I had my dad had a cousin back in the 80s who worked for Mutual of Omaha. I didn't know it was an insurance company. And I'm just like, oh, he works for Marlon Perkins? And Dad's like, no, he doesn't. He does that. What's he doing on Wild Kingdom? No, he doesn't do anything on Wild Kingdom, son, you idiot.
I love it.
So, but because I thought I had a familial
Yeah,
connection to Wild Kingdom, so that's why I watched all that. Plus, I mean, it was just always fun.
yeah.
hmm
But
That's
I
funny.
just that's just something from childhood that, you know, it was just so special to me.
Yeah.
And just that, like I said, it was such a big part. Most of our childhood,
Mhm.
those of us in this age group, and now it's non-existent. There's no network because the world we live in now, with everything that's out there, you don't have that Saturday morning cartoon experience like you
Yeah.
used to.
Yeah, and that's one thing I wish my kids could have experienced. I mean, they got up and they watched. Oh golly,
Nickelodeon, Disney Channel.
no, they didn't watch. No, back then we didn't watch those. We had Was it Sprout?
Sprout. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. We watched Sprout and we watched Boomerang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
When it was
did
when it was an actual network channel. Yep. I remember.
Yeah,
Hmm.
we had DirecTV back then. So yeah.
Well, I mean, now your average affluent 10 to 12-year-old is probably sitting down with two tablets, and they
Yeah.
got one where they're playing a video game, and the other one, when the video game pauses, that they just go through YouTube Shorts, and that's all they watch. They don't watch, you know, it's just the consumption of media
Yeah.
is incredibly different now than it was when we were kids. Because, you know, we were still like, if you wanted to see stuff, you had to sit down, turn on the TV, hope that somebody else in the house wasn't watching something. And you could turn the TV on, and then you could watch Saturday morning cartoons with your cereal.
And like it's like with like since it's Mother's Day, bless my mother's heart, she was good enough. She would actually set the VCR to record my cartoons for me. So if I didn't watch them then, I would watch them Sunday. So
My mom did that for me with MTV when I was at school.
oh nice.
She would record
Oh.
videos. Yeah.
My mom it was feast or famine with me. I couldn't record anything because she was always recording her soap operas.
Ah,
So yeah. And she would always try to watch them when my cartoons were on. I'm like, come on, Mom. So she
Yeah.
finally got tired of me complaining and stuck a TV in my room.
Well, even reading down more in that article, they say that there is still a lot planned for this. It says not only the classic cartoons, the classic characters, but shows and series and shorts that haven't been seen in 25, 30, 40, 50 years.
good.
I
They're
look
going to
forward
make
to
their
that.
re-debut on that channel. So,
Good.
I mean, it sounds like they are opening up a Pandora's box of animation for this. So very excited
and
to
And
see
it's
this.
old animation. That's the
Yeah.
key. It's not
Yes.
new animation.
Right.
It's old.
like the
Oh.
hand drawn stuff. This is the yeah. I mean, there's a couple of stories on shows on this graphic that I don't recognize, and I would love to watch.
Let's see. Which one are you talking about? Maybe I can point one out.
The one with the monk guy with the 9 dots on his head.
Yeah, that one I don't know. That one I say.
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
Let's see. I see Snagglepuss.
I recognize characters here. But
Yeah.
I don't remember some of these. I don't remember watching their dedicated show.
What are we looking at
Which
here?
picture are you
The-
looking
yeah.
at?
The big one at the top of this website here with all the characters.
the top of Cartoon Brew.
Okay, hang on one second. Let me.
We'll get on the.
Yeah, I switched
So
to
people
the
know what
screen
we're
really
talking
quickly.
about. Yeah.
Like technically, it has the Flintstones on there twice. It has the Flintstones with Fred and Wilma. Then they have the Flintstones Christmas with Fred as Scrooge and Bam Bam as Tiny Tim.
Maybe that's one of those specials that people
Yeah.
that they're all talking about that they were going to do. Maybe.
Maybe so. All right. Yeah, this is the graphic I used for our.
Oh, okay. I see that little dude. Okay.
yeah,
I
So
don't know what that is.
you've
I
got
see Droopy.
you've got Heathcliff.
Two
And
stupid
then-
dogs.
Yeah, Wile E. Coyote, Tasmanian Devil, Woody Woodpecker. I love they're going to do Betty Boop. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I'm so
Oh,
excited.
Katie's
about
so excited about that. I'm telling.
Wally Gator.
Yeah, Wally Gator. Yep.
that. Hey, right there, right below Woody Woodpecker, Leader 1 from the GoBots.
Wow.
Is that what that is?
Yes, that's Leader 1. That's the GoBots. That's
I never watched GoBots. GoBots were like the Kmart Transformers.
and
Look.
I loved them. I loved them. They had Leader 1 was kind of like the Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
He turned into an F-14 jet, if I'm F-14 or F-16 jet, and then the Nemesis, who was the Kmart knockoff Megatron, was Psykill, who was
Psykill.
a transforming motorcycle. I had both of those toys. I loved them.
I just want. I was wondering something today, and looking at this picture, I didn't catch it the first time around. But right there under the Detective Droopy and next to Johnny Quest, that's Frankenstein Jr.
Yep.
Yeah,
Zach, we found because of Boomerang and my son, they were showing little Frankenstein Jr. bits on Boomerang, and he absolutely loved that. So it was like I was actually wondering about that and the Herculoids.
See, yep. See, I know a lot of those Hanna-Barbera characters. Even if I didn't watch the cartoon, there, of course, it was during the '80s, and the big thing with the Olympics. You remember when they had the Laugh Olympics?
Yep, Laugh
Okay,
Olympics.
so that's where I discovered a lot of them characters without even seeing the cartoon. So maybe that might be one of the things. So I haven't seen that anywhere on streaming or anywhere to watch it, but I remember I used to love it.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see Captain Caveman.
Yes,
yeah.
Scatman Crothers, number one super guy.
And then they've
That was-
even
that
got
was
they've even got
No.
the Mask cartoon.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, that was after my time of watching Saturday morning cartoons, but that I remember seeing episodes of that, and that was really good.
Yeah, and in the chat, let us know. Are any of these striking your fancy? Who are you excited to see? We'd love to know. I tell you what, I got to know. Where do you guys stand on Scrappy Doo?
Not a fan, honestly. Annoying.
I hated him.
He was annoying. He was annoying, but yeah, I don't know. He always kind of felt add on. You know,
The only time I enjoyed him when they had him on when they did the 13 Ghosts of Scooby Doo. There,
Yeah.
that was the only time he was palpable.
Was it the first Scooby Doo live action movie with Matthew Lillard?
Yeah.
That had Scrappy in it.
Yeah,
And they really did that justice.
yeah.
Because it's just like that. If you haven't seen the movie, I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, it's Skylar. Yeah,
Yeah, Skylar. Yep. I believe they announced they would have the real Ghostbusters and Beetlejuice as well. Absolutely.
dude,
No
if they
matter-
have Beetlejuice, I mean, look,
Oh, that
I love
cartoon
Real
was
Ghostbusters.
great.
Don't get me wrong, I love Real Ghostbusters, but Beetlejuice, that was like Renaissance era good. Beetlejuice was so freaking good.
some of the other cartoons from that era, like do you remember the Addams Family cartoon that came out
Yes.
around
Yes.
the time? That was great.
I remember. I mean, when the Addams Family movies came out, that was like that was the era of everything Addams Family. I had the Addams Family, the Fester's Quest on
Yep.
the Nintendo Entertainment System.
One of my
That game was like this
hard.
haunted me to this day. I can think about going around trying to find light bulbs in that game.
Hey,
Yeah.
I finally beat that game, but I had to do it with the Game Genie. I'm not
Yep.
gonna lie.
Really?
Oh,
That-
hey,
That's
there's-
request?
There's no shame in that.
Except when it glitches your game and it breaks it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well. But yeah, Skylar, absolutely. I've heard Beetlejuice, which is going to be awesome, and of course, Jason Fitzsimmons over at GhostbustersNews.com put out this article last week on May the 4th. Actually, the real Ghostbusters will be returning to MTV. I wish MTV would come back.
Well, it is the new MTV for us.
I wish MTV would just go back to doing music, but anyway.
Yeah, Jason says, among the series confirmed includes 1980s favorite, The Real Ghostbusters.
Wow.
Let's see. I'm looking. If there's any. They're going to have Police Academy.
Yes.
Oh,
that's-
man.
that's the
No
one.
way.
Yes. Yes. Police Academy.
Yep, right there. The Police Academy,
my
The
God.
Mask, and Beetlejuice. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I-
There was another article I had seen. Yeah, that had mentioned that obscure ones like Police Academy, Ghostbusters, and Beetlejuice. So yeah.
Police Academy was pretty obscure, honestly.
Yeah.
It was good though.
But the toy line.
Yep.
Our friends over at Yes Have Some podcast, Craig Goldberg collects the Police Academy toys and has a really nice collection. If he hasn't sold it off yet, Craig will make a collection and sell it off sometimes. But
He breaks his own rules. sometimes.
If you were ever doing a contest where you were like, play one or two bars from a movie theme that you could recognize instantly, Police Academy would be one of them.
Yep.
Oh,
I
All you
got
gotta
on
do is
that.
the first note, and you'd be like, Police Academy.
Yep.
oh man, but that is so awesome that the real Ghost. I mean, the official Ghostbusters channel on YouTube from Sony, they have are they still doing the real Ghostbusters?
They're
cartoons?
doing them sparingly, but not like they were. I don't think they haven't done a new one in a while. I could be wrong, but I haven't seen a notification for one.
Like Hasbro has a dedicated GI Joe channel on YouTube that's
Yep.
constantly live streaming. I don't know if they're doing that with Transformers. I've got all the seasons of the G1 Transformers on DVD, so I haven't paid attention to that much. But oh man, and I've got the box set of the real Ghostbusters cartoons. So,
The time
But
life,
but
yeah.
just imagine you can get your live antenna up and running, and then you can just point down to channel 13 like in the old days, and then you sit down in front of your TV. And granted, our TVs are different now. You don't got to sit down and do it. You can just sit down on your couch with your big old 65-inch TV or whatever, and then you just sit down with your cereal in the morning, and you can watch a cartoon. Oh my
Absolutely.
God!
and believe me, we're going to be doing that. Yeah, this thing launches June 25th. I'm going to be there for it.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it. I'm not an avid watcher of MeTV, but I have watched quite a bit over the years. Man, that's a fantastic channel. It's
is.
a lot like Nick at Night. How that used to be.
It's great. I often hop over there to see what's happening over there on MeTV.
It's interesting, like you said, where they're bringing stuff like this. Like I always say, like our parents' generation, they like to sit around and watch the old Western movies. That's going to be us. We're going to sit around and watch the old cartoons. Your grandchildren's going to be like, Grandpa's watching cartoons again.
That's right.
I may sneak in some Bonanza. My first wife and I, we took our honeymoon out at Lake Tahoe, and that's when the Ponderosa Ranch was open to the public. And so we got to go sit at the saloon.
Oh, cool.
Drink sarsaparilla, which I don't like root beer, but I did it just to say I did it at the Ponderosa. And yeah, we got to go into the house and all. That was really, really cool. But it wasn't long after that that they shut it down.
Yeah.
So
For me, it was Mr. Ed. Mr.
Yes.
Ed was another big one. God,
Yes.
I loved that show. And Lassie, of course. Lassie was a good one.
Who fell
Did
down
he
the
fall
well
down
this
the
week,
well
girl?
again?
Yeah.
So you were talking about that, and Pluto TV is awesome too. They have a lot of stations that are just one particular classic show, and they have just one channel dedicated to that. But they recently opened up variety shows. So Laugh-In is on there.
Ooh.
and I love Nick and Night and Laughing, and then of course the monkeys. Now that I just recently
Oh God, the
discovered
monkeys.
that Access TV is showing the monkeys, and you can't get the monkeys on any kind of streaming service out there right now. Just me goofing around one day, I realized that they're showing the episodes on Access TV. So if you have that, if
Nice.
you do have that, check it out. They are running those. They have a retro binge block. They show that along. They also show the Partridge Family
Man,
in that.
all we
block.
need is a channel that does reruns of Soul Train, and we'll be good to go, baby.
Soul Train is solid gold.
Yes. Freaking love Soul Train.
That's how I knew Saturday morning cartoons were over. Soul Train.
Soul Train. Yeah.
Soul Train came on. That's what it was.
You see that? You see people dancing, and you see that.
You see the cartoon train, you're like, wait a minute.
yeah, that cartoon
Oh,
train.
who hosted Soul Train? I'm breaking on his name
Don
right
Cornelius.
now. Don Cornelius, yep.
Soul Train.
Oh, and what's funny is, and I had not thought of Soul Train in a long time. And today I was going through some of my Instagram reels, and somebody had posted up a video of the camera panning the crowd for Soul Train. And there's one guy. What the caption was: "Orange shirt guy has the dance." And there was one guy. I mean, everybody's dancing normally, and then there's one guy in the orange shirt doing this.
Oh yeah.
Back and I'm like, oh, okay.
You always every episode you always had at least one guy that was like a guy or gal that was born to be there.
Yeah.
Like their life led to this moment. This is their 10 seconds of fame right here.
Soul Train was the TikTok dance of the 80s.
Really? Yes.
And then they had the part in the show where they did the line.
Yeah.
Everybody came
Yep.
down the line dancing. So yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh! If you guys have never seen Soul Train, if you can find it online anywhere, get it. Just
Soul Train, Solid Gold, and then also American Bandstand. Those 3 shows right there. If you want some good stuff from
Y'all
there.
probably don't know anything about Dance Party USA though.
Oh, yes, we do.
Rock probably does.
Oh, I know about Dance Party USA. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Anyway.
This is fun talking about TV from our youth, man. This is wonderful.
Well, do you guys like I grew up a massive Punky Brewster fan. Soleil Moon Frye. Oh my gosh, I had the biggest crush on her because we're the same age, and so when Punky Brewster was on, I loved that girl.
Of course you did.
Well, but then they came out with a cartoon for Punky Brewster. It was on
Yeah, I remember
NBC. I believe it was on NBC. It had to have been because they were promoting. It was like a Friday night special. They were announcing the new Saturday morning cartoon lineup, and they took the Back to the Future theme. And it was Back to Next Saturday instead of Back to the Future, but it was a logo, the Back to the Future logo that said Back to Next Saturday, and Punky she was part of that somehow. It may have been when they announced her cartoon series with that little furball Gizmo, I think it was the name. And I remember the theme clear as day in my head. I'm not going to sing it for you guys. I don't want to hurt your ears.
Oh, come on.
No. But I remember that because so it had to have been 80, 85, 86.
well, it started in '84. The show started in '84.
Which the cartoon,
Punky Brewster.
the cartoon of the live action.
No, the live action started in '84.
This special was associated with the cartoon, so I don't know when the cartoon came. It may have been a couple of years later, but it had to have been after '85 because of the Back to the Future theme that they used for the show.
It was '85.
85. Okay.
Yeah, started out in '85.
Now, speaking of Back to the Future, maybe we'll see that one pop up because they do say that
man.
Universal's, that the Universal Studios is going to be a part of this channel too. So
Yeah, several studios. Looking really quickly.
I think I don't know about you, Bo. I think I was a bit young for Punky Brewster. I didn't really watch it.
I watched it. I
Y'all
caught it some, but I think I saw it when it was in syndication, not when it was original airing.
Oh, I definitely didn't. It wasn't even on my radar. I don't think. I watched Doogie Howser. I love Doogie Howser because that was Doogie Howser's a
the
big
two
one.
of y'all are a tad bit younger than Brock and
So,
myself.
Everybody
Doogie.
hates
I was
on
thinking
me.
back. Doogie Howser, Wonder Years,
yeah.
Full House. That was like all the big ones that I watched
Yeah.
that were non-cartoons.
Yeah, we're me and you're in that little transition generation. We're the Zennials, so we can identify with these guys, but we're still a little bit hip and young.
Yes, we will claim Vanilla Ice. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
Here's, excuse me. If you need to know where to get MeTV tunes, it's going to launch June 25th. The article says that the network will be available for multi-platform distribution on over-the-air broadcast television, traditional multi-channel video programming distributors, and virtual MVPDs, along with a complimentary offering for ad-supported streaming services. So you might be able. Looks like you're going to be able to stream this as well.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
that's
mean,
cool.
I'm looking just for example, Brock. I'm looking on like MeTV site for where to watch just for the Birmingham area. Channel 13 to WVM-TM, that is our over the air, but they've got Comcast doing it as well. Spectrum, they've got a channel on Spectrum, a Cable USA, and there's even DirecTV on here as well and then they have Choice Streaming, which is right now apparently it's only announced for Anniston and Tuscaloosa, but
Okay.
they have streaming options even for us here in little old Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, with Philo, they have my MeTV on Philo, so they'll probably have an offshoot channel on that as well. I would think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, it's something we're looking forward to, and hope you are too. And man, it's going to be nice to go back
Yeah.
to the youth for sure. So, if you're familiar with Bama Geeks, for the last 3 years we've had a segment that we've called the Bama Geeks Southern Phrases and
Southern words and phrases.
Southern words and phrases. Yeah, I'm already pushing it out of my brain, that name. We've called it that for 3 years. We're going to rebrand that tonight. Jess and I were driving on the way home one night a couple of days ago, and like, how come we never called your segment Bama-splaining? And she's like, I don't know. Maybe that's what we should do. And I'm like, okay. So we're going to retire the Bama Geeks Southern words and phrases. From here on out, it's going to be Bama-splaining.
That's right.
And so that's one thing Jess likes to do. So we're going to look at that.
Hi,
She's bigger than normal now.
it's me.
What do you have tonight, sweetheart?
So Kevin, you were talking about how you had to be in a certain frame of mind to watch the holiday special, right? Would you say that you are 3 sheets to the wind? Well,
By the time Bay Arthur comes out and does her thing in there,
Yeah.
I am
Understandable.
3 sheets to the wind at that point. Yes.
well, that is our phrase for this evening. 3 sheets to the wind. This expression has a nautical origin, referring to the sheets that controlled the sails. When the sheets are loose, the ship rocks uncontrollably. Southerners use this phrase as a polite way to say someone who has had too many porch cocktails is very drunk.
Porch cocktails.
Porch cocktails.
Is that another thing for moonshine?
Could be. Whatever you like to sip while you are sitting on your porch. If it's not sweet tea.
A minted julep.
I meant you.
That's reserved for the Kentucky Derby, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there you go.
All right. Well, we always follow that up with our own Kevin Gardner. This man.
And dad
is-
jokes ain't changing. All right.
No.
We ain't changing dad jokes. We're
keep
going to keep
that.
doing dad jokes. We're going to keep cranking them out. And tonight I have 2 for you. I got 2
All
dad
right.
jokes. You guys want to start with the first one here?
Go right ahead.
All right. So I met a girl online. We arranged a blind date. And the blind date was going to, I met her online, but we were going to do a blind date at the gym, of all places, right? She never showed up. And that's when I knew we weren't going to work out.
But,
I knew. I had a feeling that's where he was going.
All right. One more for you.
There you go.
all right.
A girl called her father. Daddy, I have a flat tire. Did you call your boyfriend? He didn't answer. Do you have a spare? He didn't answer either.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, my goodness. That's too much. Oh, very good. Very good. Well, we hope you've enjoyed being with us for this live episode. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Skylar, thank you so much for your comments, buddy.
Yes,
We're glad
thank
you're
you.
here.
Yes,
Hey,
thank you.
hey, Skylar, I'm getting a lot of use out of that shirt. I'm going to tell you. I might
Dude.
as well tell you now.
Yeah, we helped judge a contest for Skylar and for his students, and he sent over a lovely thank you gift care package, and he sent a T-shirt, and Jess wears that thing all the
It's-
time. I kid you not.
It's comfy. I like it.
Yeah. So we appreciate that, Skylar, very much. But if you want to join us on social media, keep the conversation going. You can join us at Bama Geeks everywhere. You can join us on Facebook inside the Bama Geeks front porch. Just search for that. If you want some bonus content, you can join our YouTube channel down below, or venture over to patreon.com/Bama Geeks. Here on the YouTube channel, you can see all the perks you're going to get if you join for the 99-cent one. Then you're going to get some icons and emotes and stuff that you can use for our chats and all. And both Patreon and the channel membership will get you access to the Discord and bonus videos and content. We're going to start doing member exclusive streams and chats and everything. We're working our way to that. So, but everybody who has joined all that previously, we certainly appreciate it. Appreciate your support. And if you like what we've done here, if you want to see us keep doing some live streams, leave a thumbs up for us, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll do this all again very soon. We appreciate you being with us. So for Bo and Kevin and Jess, I'm Brock. Hope you guys have an absolutely great night. We'll catch you later.
Good night.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.